YouTubes, Ash back once again with another vlog on Sun. This is my vlogging series where I talk about myself, things, stuff, movies, games, anything that I've found interesting over the last 7 days. Of course this time it's 14 days because last week was a bank holiday and we had the chocolate powered 5-year-old and you just can't do videos with him around, it's impossible. So I thought instead of just doing it on the Tuesday, I'll leave it a week because I didn't have a lot to say last week anyway. So here we are, 2 weeks on, and what's happened, what's going on? Things have happened in my life. First off, my car blew up. That is, it's game over, that's been scrapped, so having to walk a lot more, which, you know, I can do with, but, oh God, walking's so boring and I've got a glass ankle and it's just a pain in the arse. Fortunately, my mum and dad have gone on holiday for a week, so I've got their car this week, but my God, walking. We said when it blew up, we said, we'll just get rid of it, we don't need one. We'll just walk everywhere. The school's only a mile up the road. It's fine. Within 3 days, I was already writing that off as the worst thing I'd ever said in my life. But hey, that's just me being lazy. Magical appearing cat. Other things that's going on in my life is my MGB Magazine, the first one that I contributed a lot for, is now live. We're not getting a physical copy this month, which is a shame. But the digital version is online now, and I will leave a link in the description below. Please do give it a click, subscribe to it. Let me know what you think, give it a read. I think I've got about 5 articles in there this month. I actually thought I had a lot more going on than just a dead car and a new writing career, but evidently not. Oh well, moving on. So on to movie news. This is the one where I know I've got quite a lot to say because I've been quite active in that area. I finally got round to watching Kingsman The Secret Service, and that was awesome. What a movie that is. If you haven't seen it, search it out. It's directed by Matthew Vaughn, who did like Layer Cake and Kick-Ass and X-Men First Class. He is one talented dude, man, Matthew Vaughn. Probably the most talented director working today, along with Edgar Wright. Both British. Awesome. It's a good time to be British. Actually, no, it's not a good time to be British. Oh, fucking Tories. Anyway, not going to get into that because I'll just get myself mad again. Yes, Kingsman, awesome action movie, spy genre thing. It's kind of, it calls back to old Bond type movies with a modern kick. I only have a slight issue with it, and that was the end was a little bit stupid. It's just kind of, it didn't fit with the feel of the film. If you've seen it, you know what I mean. I'll just say fireworks. That was just too much for me. But the rest of it, absolutely perfect. I also managed to catch up with Fast and Furious 7 or Furious 7 or whatever it is called, whatever we call it over here. And this is where I wrote a piece in this month's MGB Magazine about the Fast and Furious franchise, saying how it gets a free pass to be stupid. But they took liberties with this one. They took absolute liberties. I mean, I know it's meant to be over the top and just enjoyable, but when you've got somebody, you've got 2 characters surviving a bomb blast and then being thrown out of about 10-story window and landing on top of a car and both walking away. I mean, The Rock walked away with a broken arm, but that was about it. I think they listed a few injuries, but he's there in bed with a pot on his arm and that's about it all. Then Vin Diesel hurls himself and Natalie Emmanuel off a cliff in a car and roll down, and they're both fine. Oh no, tell a lie, Natalie Emmanuel was knocked out for a bit. Die Hard 4-esque driving the car up a ramp into a helicopter thing. There was just so many things that were just a little bit too far. And obviously this time it wasn't directed by Justin Lin, it was James Wan of, did he do Saw or Sinister or something? One of them horror films anyway. And he's decided to employ this technique where when people are getting flipped over in fights, the camera follows with them, which is fine once or twice, but it happened about 7 or 8 times, and it's like, okay, all right, we get it, you're trying to go for a style here, but you're pushing it again. You're going too far again. That all being said, though, I did enjoy the film, and I did get a bit emotional at the end with like the farewell to Paul Walker. I'm not going to go banging on and on and on about Paul Walker because Facebook has done that enough. But it was sad, and the end of the film was a perfect tribute and a fantastic send-off. So yeah, the film was enjoyable enough, but it was a little bit too stupid. And That's going to sound hypocritical if you've read my article in Geekbox Magazine, but I'm entitled to change my mind. I'm entitled to my opinion. Another film I watched was Skin Trade, and yeah, you don't need to watch that. It's straight to iTunes, straight to on demand, and it's Dolph Lundgren and Tony Jaa, who was also in Furious 7, by the way. And I had high hopes for it because those two can kick ass when they need to, but I'm doing a review of that for next month's My Geekbox magazine, so I'm not going to tell you too much. I'll just say it's going to be another month before that magazine's out, and there's plenty of time for you to watch it. Just don't. In other movie news, I am going to take advantage of having a car for a week, and I'm going to go to the cinema on Friday, hopefully. And I'm going to go and watch Pitch Perfect 2, and I don't care what you think. Because I loved the first one. I watched it again the other day. I must have seen it. I'm into double figures with that film, definitely, without a doubt. It's cheesy, it's a guilty pleasure, but there's something about it I just like. And it's probably Anna Kendrick's boobs, if we're being honest. Or Brittany Snow's boobs. Or Anna Camp's boobs. I don't know. Alexis Knapp's boobs. It's Alexis Knapp's boobs and legs and face. It's Alexis Knapp. So yeah, if you're wondering why I watch Pitch Perfect all the time, it's not because I'm a fan of a cappella singing. I'm a fan of boobs. But I do actually quite like the singing as well. I'm going to be honest. And it is quite funny. My only hope is with a sequel to something like this, you have to push it further. You have to try harder. And when you try hard, sometimes it doesn't quite work. So I'm hoping that they've just kind of stuck with the formula a little bit. The trailer looks quite amusing. We'll see. Hopefully I'll get to see it on Friday, and I'll probably let you know. I'll probably do an actual video review for that one, I think. We'll see. I'm not going to promise anything. Because I haven't got a ticket yet, so I might not even go. Into the TV lands, TV side of things. Not a lot. I haven't watched much. I haven't watched anything new, to be honest. I've just started watching Brooklyn Nine-Nine again on Netflix because it's funny as hell. And it's something I can put in the background and either watch when I want to or ignore when I need to. Game of Thrones has finally picked up the pace, though. I'm not going to go into great details about that because I know people don't actually watch it week in, week out. They like to save it up for a binge. But I will say it was good to finally have a decent cliffhanger at the end of last week. It gives me a bit of promise that the pace is going to ramp up a little bit. But yeah, that's about it for TV. I did say a couple of weeks ago I was going to try and get into Peaky Blinders, and I did watch the first one and I really enjoyed it. And then I haven't watched another one since. Mainly because Becca doesn't like it, and I don't like to put her through things that she doesn't necessarily enjoy, which is why she's not here now, because when I do this video, I'm going to go and play Project Cars, and she can't stand the sound. Which brings me nicely to gaming, and as I just said, I got Project Cars. I got it yesterday, and I was operating on 2 hours sleep yesterday, so I didn't really get a lot of time into it. I started a career in the karting section, and I can see why Becca wants to hide out of the way, because the engine noises on the karts, pretty damn irritating. Not as irritating as the handling on the karts, mind. That really fucking knocks us. But what an amazing game. It's like the level of customizability in it is unparalleled. I thought Forza had everything right. I thought they did everything spot on. But the only thing Project Cars lacks that Forza has is being able to actually customize the look of your car. And Project Cars doesn't have such an impressive car roster as Forza, but you don't need it. A lot of reviews I've seen of Project Cars, people are comparing the car roster between the two, and everyone says the same thing, and I absolutely agree. You don't need 400 cars in a racing game. You're never going to drive all those cars. All you've got to do is cover the bases. Make sure that every class is represented, and then you're good to go. Because you're only ever going to drive 10, 20 of them, 30 if you're an absolute car nut. But you're never going to drive 400. So I think Project Cars has got the number right. It's missing Ferraris and Lamborghinis because of licensing, but I can live without them as long as everything else is good. And it is so far. The number of tracks is pretty damn impressive. I think they've got more than Forza on that one. And like I said, the level of customizability that you can put into the game, just tweaking little tiny things like the AI difficulty. If it's too hard but you still want a challenge, just knock it down a tiny notch. You don't have to go from like easy, medium, hard, insane. It's a slider bar. And everything's like that. Everything's got a slider bar. You can even fine-tune the controls so you can change the dead zones on the sticks. That's phenomenal. And I was on the fence with Project Cars. I saw clips from a recent build about a couple of weeks before they delayed it again for the final time, and I cancelled my pre-order because I just thought, you know, that the cars look alright, but the tracks look terrible, and the handling didn't look quite right. There was just things that stood out, and I thought, you know, I'm not bothered. And then I saw the final build, and I thought, I have to have this. I traded in Battlefield Hardline and Forza Horizon 2. I just thought, I need this. I don't care what I have to sacrifice. And I'm pleased I did. After like the short hour that I put in with it yesterday, I'm pleased I made that call. I might get round at some point this week to streaming some Project Cars on Twitch. As always, Twitch and all my other social networking stuff will be in the description below. Normally now I would answer your questions, but I didn't get any last time, so that lets me off the hook there. But if you do have any questions, anything you want to ask me, anything about gaming, movies, TV, me personally, fire off in the comments down below. So as always, if you've liked this video, please do hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, wherever they are, because I know YouTube likes to move them around. And as always, tell your friends, tell your family, but don't tell me mum. Especially this week, because she's on holiday, so leave her alone.